What's going on, y'all? So listen, I picked this lady up today, and I could already sense her funky energy. As soon as I pulled up, I could tell. So she gets in the car and she's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. And as we're driving, I could feel her judgments. I could feel her perceptions. I could feel it all. So I'm like, well, thank goodness that this ride is not that long. So as I'm turning the corner, I'm going by the GPS. And as I'm turning the corner, she's like, "Oh, no, you were supposed to go this way." And I was like, okay, well, which way would you prefer for me to go? Because I'm following the GPS. If you don't want me to follow GPS, I'm going to have to let them know that you prefer for me to take an alternate road. And she was just like, "No, it's this way." And she just got really upset. So when she got upset, I started telling her, I was like, "No, I'm following the GPS. You told me to go a different way. So if you wouldn't have never said nothing, we probably would have made it to your destination quicker." And she just started like mouth. And I'm telling y'all, the people who have these big executive roles, who hold themselves to a certain esteem while they're at work, I promise you, they act completely different when they feel like they're paying you for a service and you can't read their mind. They are not the most mature people. Some of them are not the most mature people. I hate to break it to you, but I've seen it. So I'm like, if she would have just closed her mouth. When you feel like you already know the ins and outs of a particular thing, it makes you difficult to train or coach or teach, because you feel like you know everything already. And that's a blind spot that a lot of us have. So my message, honestly, for today is just close your mouth. Close your mouth. It's so much that could be accomplished with just people keeping their mouth shut and allowing the process to take its course. Everything does not need language placed with it. Sometimes it's okay to just close your mouth. You know, everything is energy. So if your energy and your intent is clear, you don't need much language to go with it. When you're accomplishing anything, it's best to just be quiet. When you're working on anything and there's a process, there's a due process. Keeping your mouth closed, I promise you, is going to be the number one thing that's going to ensure you get the outcome that you desire. Sometimes language can confuse things. Sometimes language can set off events that were never meant to take off. Be quiet and just watch. Be quiet. Since I was a kid, that has been my number one antidote for anything in life. Keep your mouth closed and just watch and see. And it's also why I'm not around a lot of people as an adult as well. And it's not that I'm an alien or I just choose to be by myself. I've studied human nature so much that honestly, most people are not worthy to be in your energy. So that might be a hard truth, but it's honestly connected to my other video, which I talk about frequency and your vibration, and how it's important to keep your vibration high, because that determines what you attract in your field, in your auric field. So just close your mouth. Just watch and see what happens. Now, if you watch and you see, this is with anything though, when you watch and you just peep and see what happens, it'll work out. A lot of times it'll work out because you're not interfering your energy and putting your energy within that process. And when you allow a process to just take place with no input, you're just an observer, you let life and the energy and the creative forces that come together to make all these things happen, you allow that to do its thing. So the lady, I'm sure she was ready, and I gave her a 1 star too, because honey child, don't be getting out. She was like, yeah, like she was scolding me. And I'm not necessarily making it a black or white thing, but you know, I'm in a nice car, I'm a black girl, it don't look like I should have what she think I got, which whole nother story altogether. When people come across you and they feel like you shouldn't have what you have, they don't even have to say nothing. Their actions, their demeanor, I'm not caring about nothing that you're talking about. What is your energy like? Your energy is gonna tell me everything I need to know. And a lot of times people get labeled as crazy because, this is a rant at this point, but a lot of times people get labeled as crazy because they know things that they should not know. We know things that we should not know. We can feel and experience people's intentions through our discernment. And if you've lived your life in a way where you don't trust your discernment, you don't trust your intuition, you're going to question yourself a lot. And I'm not saying that you won't question yourself sometime when you are sure of yourself, but listening to your discernment, I'm telling you, energy presents itself before anything is said. If a person's energy is off, that's who they are. That is the energy that they're presenting to you at that time. That's what it is. And you got to stop second and guessing yourself with that, because it could get you in a lot of trouble. So with the job that I do, my discernment has to be on point, because there was another situation where if I would have second guessed myself and the energy that I was feeling, I probably wouldn't be here right now to talk about it. So that happened on New Year's Eve. I'll tell that story another time. But yeah, just trust the process, because when you trust the process of anything, the formulation of the true energy behind whatever is being presented to you, if you just be quiet and trust the process, you're going to see the genuineness of the process. You're going to see for yourself. So just trust the process. This week, just stop talking so much. Just slow it down, quiet it down, be a little bit more reserved, and just pay attention. Be more observant. And that will allow you to make split-second decisions without you even realizing why you had to make the decision in the first place. And I got back with the lady, and I'm like, you told me to turn this way. And I told her, I said, if you hadn't said anything initially, we would have been at your drop-off location by now. And she was just like, you turned this way. And the fact is, you didn't trust the process because you undermined me, and it made you be late for wherever you were on your way to. You know, we got to stop. And then also, we have to stop our judgments of people. It's important to observe and to recognize certain patterns. But when you judge a person based off of what you physically see, you're going to be the fool every single time. And that wasn't the first time that I had to get with someone simply for feeling like I wasn't driving the way that they wanted me to drive, or I wasn't going the direction that they felt was best. I'm following an app. It's an app. It's not a person, but it is a simple app that directs you from one space to the next. That's it. So if you an Uber's driver, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't let these people get to you, because they will. And when she got out the car, y'all, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry so bad, because I had just gotten into a verbal disagreement with someone. So right after that, that's when the lady got in here. And then right after that happened, I'm gonna pull over, get myself together. I couldn't even do it because I had another ride that was a very decent ride that I didn't want to be late for. So I was like, you know what, I'll cry about it later. And then this ride was 3 people. So I did not feel like really talking, and I was just like, y'all, you know what, I'm kind of quiet right now. But they were really sweet people. They were. It was 3 people coming from a work conference, and they were just honestly ready to get back home. Just remember, loving your neighbor is important, but nothing is as important as loving yourself. And dealing with other people allows you to understand why it's so important to love yourself first. So yeah, don't let nobody change how you feel about yourself, because the way that you feel about yourself, regardless of who you come in contact with, the way that you feel about you is the number one and most important opinion in all of this thing we call life. So love y'all and have a good day.